You can. Baruch Hashem. You can or you cannot? I'm going to go with can. Yes, awesome. There we go. Sorry, different angle than usual. Yeah, we're having some major internet issues here. Baruch Hashem, it's snowing in Jerusalem here. It seems to be causing some issues with my internet. The best thing, let's see if I can move here. So, there you guys can see this. A second, sorry, I didn't set up properly because it's a miracle we're here. Okay, great. We'll see how this goes, my friends. Topic is mindfulness and Kabbalah, mindfulness and Judaism. And I want to talk a little bit about it. And that conversation begins, let me set up here properly. It's a miracle I'm even on here right now. All right. This conversation begins with understanding the beginning of spirituality in Judaism. And I believe that is a certain level of freedom. And that's really the concept of mindfulness as well. Starting off with, recognizing that the society around us wants to put us in a place where we're holding like as if is something that I'm just free to do whatever I feel like doing, whenever I feel like doing it, right? For example, if someone feels like they want to have a smoke, if someone feels like they want, whatever just comes up for them, I'm free to do whatever I feel like doing, whenever I feel like doing it, right? However, we have to recognize that there is a little bit of slavery in that. There is a little bit of slavery that comes about when we're just following whatever it is that comes up for us in the moment, right? And so the idea here is that really freedom begins when we're able to take a pause, when we're able to take a step back and recognize the feeling that's coming up within us and be able to stay there, allow it to exist, but then also go ahead and say, this isn't what's best for me, or this isn't the person I want to be. I want to do something different, and then be able to go ahead and make a choice in the direction, right? And that is the beginning of spirituality, I believe, according to Judaism, is because it's the assertion of the spirit. According to the Jewish masters of all time, we know that animals don't have free choice the way people have free choice. Animals, they can do whatever they feel like doing. That's true. They have emotional responses, etc. But human beings are the ones who are able to just pull in one direction and then be able to take a step back, choose in another direction based on ideal, based on a certain moral, whatever it is. Now, does the person always do that? No. A person can easily get wrapped up in their emotional responses, in their animal side of themselves, physical desires, etc. But the capacity that human
להם יד נבלך ושבו וחיו ישמעו כל דרכי לב יאזינו כל ערלי רוח להם יד נבלך ושבו וחיו משורר התשובה הנולדת כבר ואם בשחקים עודנה צרורה שמה נשמתך בצרור החיים
It's a miracle. Okay. Apologies. I'm going to try to keep it on audio. And my name is not Machon 139. Never mind that. This is Eli Deutsch. Shalom. And we'll see how this goes. Okay, we'll try to keep it on audio. Apologies in advance. So we were saying that this mindful thing plays out in the moment, right? So what does it mean? What does it mean in the moment? In the moment means that time, usually we get stuck in the grips of time. What do I mean by that? That there's a system of before, after, and we think, hey, look at that. Wow, how'd you do that? We think that, because a lot of times we get stuck in a pattern. Because this is how it was, this is how it's always going to be, right? We get depressed about something that was in the past. We are regretting something. We're stuck in it, or in the future. We could be thinking about the future. We could be nervous about the future. We could be fearful. We could be anxious. and what does all this do? It takes us away from what? From the moment. It takes us away. It gets us focused on things that we can't control, and takes us away with from things we can control. It takes us out of that space of being present. And that's what we mean by mindful. It means staying present. And if you want to get religious about this, it means asking, okay, what does Hashem, what does God want from me in this moment, in this situation? And now the lower side of yourself, well, it shouldn't have been the situation in the first place. You could have, should have, would have, if only blah, blah, blah happened. Right? And that keeps us away from what? From being present in the moment. Being present in the moment means accepting the reality of the situation that you're in right now, coming to terms with that reality, and then saying, okay, what do I do from here? What is in my control from this particular space? And let's recognize also, leaving mindfulness and Kabbalah and all these words out of it, just recognize that that's the only thing that's the only place where we have an impact anyway, right? And so a lot of times we think, where this plays a role. It plays a role that in something that a lot of people don't, that our society that has raised us, put us in this headspace of that you are only responsible when you're at fault. You ever notice that? Right? Tell my kids, hey, can you clean up those toys that are on the floor over there? I didn't do it. Okay. I never said you did it. Can you clean them up though? You know what I mean? Like that. Like we've been raised in a world. Certainly, I guess it's a Western world. I don't know if it's just Western or other places, but like that. Like you're responsible if you're at fault. You're responsible if you're guilty about something. But you realize how, hold on a second, there's an idea in Judaism, and it's actually this week's Torah portion, Truma, has to do with uplifting. I mean, stepping into the space that you're in, the reality you're in, and uplifting that reality, right? And so it means that you have, when you find yourself in a moment with all of its conditions, the Jewish perspective is, okay, in what way can you take responsibility for this moment and for the situation, given all the conditions and the aspects of it that you find yourself in that perhaps are not, outside of your control and no fault of your own, but that's not the point. The point is, can you step into that space, get your hands dirty, so to speak, and and do something to upgrade that situation, that moment, and anyone who is in that space, right? A great example of this in Jewish law is that there's a mitzvah in Judaism, believe it or not, to return lost objects. Now, in Judaism, it's not so simple necessarily always to do that. It means you have to you find a lost object, don't just leave it there. You have a responsibility to pick it up, to make a sign, to put it in that place where you found it, and and then to deal with people who come along and say that it's theirs, and you have to go through a whole thing. Now that means to say, you could easily say, hold on a second, it's not my fault. Someone else dropped their thing over there. Why should I have to now go to the trouble of doing all this? Answer is, that's the mitzvah in Judaism. The mitzvah in Judaism is that you're right. Your responsibility does not lie at the feet of your fault. Your responsibility lies in the space you walk into. What can you do with that space in that moment at that time, right? So it's a big paradigm shift, right? And so, it's like, you walk by, you see a piece of garbage sitting on the floor, right? Like, I didn't put it there. Well, hold on a second. You're in that space. You recognized it. Pick up that piece of garbage, right? So what does that mean? That is rooted in this aspect. That's like a good Jewish application of this concept of being mindful of, and what that means is staying present in the moment, which means recognizing the situation for what it is, as opposed to being in a struggle and a conflict with the situation because of what you believe it should be or could be. Do you hear that idea? Right? And so this is really, I think, the beginning of this this conversation, and it gets to, what we're saying here. We're saying with this lost object situation is we have to recognize, hold on a second, am I living my life that is, or am I living, trying to live up to a picture, to a portrait, to a vision, to an expectation, whether it be my own, whether it be my society's, whether it be Hollywood's, whether it be my parents, whether it be my spouse's, whether it be my religion's? Am I being real? Am I being authentic? Am I being true to the moment and the situation I find myself in? Am I being real to my authentic desires as well? Or am I taking myself outside of that, being pulled, whether it be by fears, whether it be by insecurities? Am I being pulled away from being real and authentic and in the moment? Right? And so mindfulness also means becoming detached from all external motivations and fears and getting in touch with what is your inner motivation? What is your inner high level, high value desire? Right? And so this is really, where this begins. And I know we've only been on for a little bit, but I do think it's worthwhile. I really want to go longer, but just with the conditions of my internet connection or whatever, I want to just call it. I know it's expecting something longer, but what's it called? So I apologize for the internet situation that we have over here. It just seems to be the reality in general. It's not so simple, but especially now with the snow going on, it seems to have an effect on what's going on over here. Anyway. I thank you guys for joining me. I'm sorry that it's gave you just a quick 2-minute dose over here. Hope it gives you at least a little bit of food for thought, and hopefully we'll do this topic properly sometime in the near future. But for now, my friends, I guess if anyone has any quick questions or anything, maybe. But okay, everyone's giving me the thank yous. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. And hopefully we'll do this. Hopefully we'll be up and running better next week, God willing. Have yourselves a wonderful day and wonderful week.